everyone, and welcome along to DBGT Season 1, Rounds 5 and 6 today as we head to two amazing tracks. We've got the Dragon Trail Seaside, and then we got Francorchamps, which honestly, Francorchamps is one of my favourite tracks, but looking forward to that. But we got Dragon Trail Seaside to go through first of all, which, as you can see from the picture, looks absolutely beautiful, so it should be good. A quick reminder of how we got to where we are today. So we did 4 rounds already. We started the season with a Daytona road course, and we've had Fuji Speedway after that. Then we've had the Autodromo Lago Maggiore, which is a fictional track, and then it was Road Atlanta last week. This week, we go to another fictional track, which is Dragon Trail Seaside, and then it's Spa. And then we got Watkins Glen next week and Trial Mountain. So that is the calendar. Standings as of round 4 look like this. And apologies if you can't see it properly, but you know. So Jovial is currently leading the way in terms of the standings right now. Then we've got Kurt in second. Those are the top 2. Those are the only drivers that won races so far. Casper and Evil third and fourth. 2 points separating them. Then we got a close fight between Way, Sean and Stapler as well. So everyone in this championship is looking quite close in terms of their little mini battles. And we also got Darky and Luca making their debuts this season as well for the first time. But anyway, without further ado, qualifying has just kicked off, so we are going to get started. Hopefully everybody is doing very well. So a little bit about the Dragon Trail Seaside. It is a 5-kilometre circuit, 3.237 miles. It's based in Croatia, 17 turns. Original circuit based on a real-life location. Not quite sure what it is personally, but you know, things happen with that. And the BOP, the balance of performance is suggested to be mid-speed. Cars are expected to be good around this circuit. So the characteristics of the track, as we're watching quite a few drivers on laps, they're quite close together in terms of... now, I can't tell who's who. Wait, I need to change names to online IDs. There we go. Then I can see everybody. Right. So we got lap times improving. So the track is a triangular shape. It contains hidden depths that add to its complexity. A lot of elevation changes, steep incline and decline portions of the track. There's a few hairpins that makes the point of the triangle, and there's 3 different style chicanes, which everybody has to nail correctly, and I'm excited to see how well they do in terms of that one. And there is an interesting chicane, which we'll get to in just a second, but the bus stop chicane, style chicane, is called, on the GT games, chicane of death by the community, because it's unpredictable and it has a very high-speed nature to it, which could lead to really bad results, especially due to the lack of runoff for all these drivers. So be aware of that. Those were some interesting facts that I found out. Let's see anyone who's on a lap. Jovial is currently fastest at the moment, 6 tenths. Then we got Court, who's getting a little bit of a tow from Evil Dragon. Evil Dragon is now a full-time driver now, which is great to see. So we do have quite a lot of drivers in the lead, but of course not everyone can make every week. I've been very lucky to cover all rounds so far, and of course if all 16 drivers don't turn up, there's no stream, so there we go. I decided to put the usernames because otherwise people won't be able to tell who's Luca, and it'll be very, very confusing. I'm just trying to see who's about to start a lap. I have no idea at the moment, so I will find out for you. Oh, we got, Evil Dragon's about to start one, I believe. Yes, he is. So let's go on board as he just improved on his lap time, which is great. So here we go then, heading towards turn number 1. It's a descent which goes up a hill, the slowest sector on the track, 2 hard braking zones and 2 very slow speed corners with a very tight chicane also. It's a slight right, they're going to be taken at full throttle Do not hit the curb too much like Liam just did, because otherwise it would cause a bit of trouble. Turns 5 and 6, a really high-speed corner, and then heading towards descent as you go down the hill now into sector 2 with only minor inclines to create complicated undulation. It is very high speed. They'll take a very quick wait coming up soon before entering the high speed chicane to follow, which is coming up right now. Some people can run a little bit off there. It is hard to achieve full throttle, but it is possible. Caution must be taken with the steering at this point. We're now going to be heading towards the very flat third sector that runs along the seaside. And honestly, looks absolutely beautiful as... Oh, Liam has just got a penalty, so we're not going to see that. But this is the bit which is won by the seaside. You can cut quite a bit, actually, but I think we will see quite a few track limits at this point as well. So we'll see how it happened. Cool, by the way, exits the final corner. I could have gone on board with him, but I didn't know that he was about to finish. Anyway, he goes up to the line. What's it going to be for him? A 1:38.1. He does not improve. He's second down, but I will expect he goes again. We've got 3 minutes left of qualifying before we head to the main race. So it should be interesting. Well, I've seen on the Twitter, aka X, earlier on today, will we get a new winner tonight? I'm interested to know what you think. Get your predictions in the chat. Stapler has just improved. Where is he? There he is. To P6 on the road with his lovely and beautiful Aston Martin livery, which looks fantastic. Now I was just checking to see if everybody could hear me, but everyone could hear me, because technically I'm the only one watching the stream right now. Casper improves as well. Where did he go? I'm being blind. Yes, he goes to P4 at the moment in his beautiful McLaren, one of my favourite liveries. He's had a little bit of a moment there. He's probably going to be annoyed that I caught him off guard. Alistair's here, which is very great to see, of course. He was my teammate in TGP2 season 36, I believe. So unsurprisingly, he's got a Red Bull livery, which I'm not biased at all. It does look cool. Red Bull for the win. The reason why I said this is because I am part of the Red Bull esports team. Well, Red Bull Sim Racing team, it's called now. What's happened to... what's happened to... Hang on a second. I do not know what's happened to my capture card. So I will try and fix that for you. Because honestly, I do not know what's gone on. So I'm going to deactivate and reactivate it and see if it fixes it. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know what's wrong with that. It keeps freezing like every so often. Probably because it's getting really hot in the UK. So it is to be expected. So hopefully you can all hear the lovely sound now. I was a bit worried that it was my game crash, but no, it was my Elgato. So if you see my Elgato crashing, it's probably because of the annoying heat that we're having at the moment. Luckily, it's not as hot as like London and all that stuff. I think it's about what's the temperature now? 18 degrees, but it's quite humid at the moment, so to be expected. So Alistair, about a few tenths separating him and Court, as we just see someone have a little bit of a spin. We're almost at the end of qualifying. I'm just seeing, is Stapler going faster? Yes, he is. Wet Lemons is going through the final sector. And you can see the beautiful views running through the sea. It looks absolutely fantastic. This is, of course, a track that I really want to drive up myself. I might give GT7 a go and see what happens, basically. But honestly, it does look very nice. So here he comes then. Wet Lemons goes up to the line as I try to get the mic at a decent position. There we go. He goes 9th and sets a personal best. Is anyone else improving? Luca slowing down. Aiden slowing down as well. Lewis, where is he? Come on, come on. Lewis is on his final lap. He's going to get a bit of a tow from Jake. Jake is on his final lap as well. Dom Smith improved to 140.5. What can Lewis do? Lewis goes up to the line. Does not improve, but Jake does. So I believe that is your order. We do have 15 drivers today, by the way, which is almost, well, it is technically a full grid because I'm a spectator. So, honestly, that is very, very good. So, we are about to get started then for the main race action, which I could not wait to get going with. Jack's just improved, which I did not see. Do apologise. The outlap's taking quite a bit of time at the moment, so hopefully we should get underway shortly. It'll be interesting to see what the tyre strategies are going to be. And as I've seen in the driver's chat, it is predicted that the Merc is going to be fast again, but you never know. We could see surprises in DBGT. So there's your results then on the right-hand side. Some surprises. And some people who I felt like could be a little bit better. You can see the beautiful view that the drivers will be getting as whilst they do their laps. 14 laps await our drivers. And it's a few minutes before 7:30, and we could get going then, which will be really, really cool. Let us know your predictions on who you think is going to win this race. Is it going to be the ones you would expect, or will we have a brand new winner? I would hope for a brand new winner. Could Luca try it against Dom Smith's head? We don't know. We don't know at this point. I mean, this is going to be epic. Are people trying to psych each other out and go for strategies that maybe they were not expecting? We will see. We will see. I think it would help if I move over to this screen. There we go. Because then you can hear some lovely music before we get going and get on the way. So I know in quite a few races, in particular the last race, we saw a few people zero stop. Due to the fact that the temperatures can be quite hot around here, maybe that might not be the best solution for here, but you never know. As I've just been informed that the race is going to be beginning shortly. So the race is going to be beginning shortly, which is great news. And I need to remember to press the spectate button because otherwise I will be put onto the race screen and I do not want that. So, who is going to come out on top? Who's going to nail the strategy today? We're going to have to wait and see. We're about to go green here at Dragon Trails at a Seaside. Jovial on pole, caught alongside, and Jovial caught everyone else off guard there as he gets a very good start. Everyone else, excuse me. Everyone else not moving positions at the moment. We can see quite a few movers and shakers in at the background as Casper trying to defend from Luca in towards turn 2. Evil Dragon in this as well. But Evil Dragon's gone a bit wide. Evil Dragon's gone a bit wide. Wet Lemons is going side by side as well. A lot of side by side into the hill there. Wade's trying to go around the outside of Luca as well. So a lot of moves being made there. Wet Lemons up to 6. Wet Lemons probably had the best to start out of everybody. What about Aiden? Aiden, who did well in the first race, he's battling with Stapler for 7th. So that is going to be interesting to see if he can defend. Lewis Cray doing well. He is in 9th, trying to defend from Dom Smith. Someone's gone wide. That's Stapler. Stapler is down a few places. He's down into 12th place. So he's lost a bit of ground to the rest of the field. Court, I don't know where he's gone. Where is he? I have no idea. He's down in 15th, so Court maybe didn't get off the line correctly. I do not know. but he lost a bit of ground, unfortunately. Apologies if I did miss that, but that's going to be him losing crucial ground in this championship. But we've got Jobiel leading, Alistair in second, 1.1 seconds behind. Then we got Casper. And we got Luca, then Waze. Waze doing quite well in this championship, but he feels like he could do a lot better. We're about to start lap number 2 of 14. And we will see what tyres everybody's on. So we've got Jobiel's on medium, so is Alistair, so is Casper, so is Luca, so is Waze. Aidan Griffins is on mediums, so is Wet Levens, Lewis, Evil Dragon, Dom Smith, Jack, Stapler, pretty much everybody, apart from a certain Jake, is on hards. And I would expect Court to get past Jake very soon, because Court, I believe, is on medium tyres. Let me have a look. Yes, he is. So he's going to try and tuck it around the outside in just a moment. Casper, a little bit off the ground at the moment, so let's jump back with Court and Jake. As Jake defends to the outside, didn't quite work. Court saying lick the snap and send it, my friend. He's trying to make a little bit of a comeback drive of the century here. As we did see a Williams car, one ride, that is of course Lewis Craig. He's now down into last place, unfortunately, which is a huge shame. So he's got a lot of work to do as well, and these corners could come back to bite you, and he's hit the wall, and that's what he wanted to do, especially at a time like this where we thought that he wasn't going to race tonight due to his Wi-Fi. We've got side-by-side action between Waze and Luca. Waze trying to defend with all his might. Luca trying to get on to the attack. He's going to get the slipstream. We're going towards the start-finish straight to start lap 3. Can Luca make his mark in this league? We'll have to wait and see. To the right-hand side he goes, in towards T1. It's a very tricky T1. So Luca has got to give it all he can to try and make that overtake. Switch back, maybe? Switch back of dreams? Still side by side. Wade is giving it all he can to defend as well. That's going to give Aidan a bit more time, but Luca does get past Waze, and Luca is up into 4th position. A little bit of a swerve there, but Luca has probably liked the fact that he made that move. Casper closing up to Alistair Bain in P2. Casper looking to get a P2 in this race, which he done a bit of a swerve there, which could have lost him a bit of time, but that corner could be tricky. And you can see on the left-hand side of the race info down the bottom, the redder those bars get, the more tyre wear that is being used by the drivers. So the more white it is, the less tyre wear it's used, and of course they would have a bit more grip. So I think Casper's going to take advantage. Let's see. I think Casper's slightly got a little bit less tyre wear than Alistair. So Casper doing a lot better with his tyres, which is probably why he is closing up to Alistair Bain a bit more. Got Luca and Wade once again trying to go for the move. I'll keep an eye on Casper as well, see what he could do, but Luca stays where he is. Casper trying to attack to the inside, a little bit of a love tap. Oh, that might have unsettled Alistair a little bit, but I think Alistair wouldn't mind too much. Let's go on board with Casper. There we go. I was trying to find the right driver, but oh, it's Dan has disconnected. Dan has disconnected from the session. He is not going to be too happy about him pretty much disconnecting, so he is going to have to wait until the next race. And of course, with the championship at the moment, Roy would take a 7-point lead going into tonight. So I might have got the wrong standings, which I do apologise. But I'll try and get the right ones before round 6 for you. As you can see, Casper trying to attack the curve a little bit as well. Same with Luca and Wade. Aiden, I think, is not going to give up without a fight. I don't think it'll be that long before we see Court catch up as well. The gap, I think, is around about 4.6 seconds. Dom Smith's doing quite well, actually, in P9. But saying that, Stapler wants that P8. Going side by side. Who's going to get it? Dom Smith or Stapler? Up to the line they go. As they'll be on lap 5. We got our first pitter, Jack Craig. Jack Craig is in at the pit right now, and he was on mediums. Now, it's interesting that he's pitting on those early. I would assume he's going on to the hard compounded tyres. No, he goes on to another set of mediums. Brave. And he's got a 3-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not good. Casper's dropped a little bit to Alistair. Probably about the tyre wear. But Jovial still keeping his cool as your race leader at the moment. Fastest lap is set by Court with a 1:38.805. As he goes down the hill once more, he's around 2 seconds behind this guy of Aiden. So the more Aiden sticks behind Waze, the more Court is probably going to try and catch up. And the chicane you just passed here can be an absolute nightmare. So I don't know how they do it, but it just takes that chicane a lot of practice to get right. And you can see Aiden having a little bit of a swerve there. This might have not been his best lap time right now as he comes across the line. But he's keeping in the 140s, which is impressive. Or is it just the game being the game because it says he was on a 145, which is weird. Or it might be my eyes deceiving me. Now, with the pit stops, with the early pit stop potentially, will that trigger quite a few more people to come into the pit lane? And we got Aiden trying to go for the move on Waze, which he does. So Wade's up into 5th. Evil Dragon and Dom Smith hang about. I might have missed that going on due to so much happening near the front. But Dom pushing Evil along through these next section of corners. Great to have Dom Smith, by the way, in at the league. We thought he couldn't make all races, but he has. Of course, we don't know who Dom Smith is. He is a TGP legend, and he still is. And you all know him by the end of this stream. I predict that. He's been getting some solid points this season. But would it be amazing if we could try and get past Evil Dragon? But would it be amazing for Evil Dragon to defend that? We're going to have to wait and see. Still quite a lot going on right now. The gap's coming down between Court and Waze and Aiden Griffins, but unfortunately, I do not think it's going to be enough. So let's watch that on Evil Dragon. He is increasing the gap to Dom Smith, which is what he wants at this stage. So we'll keep an eye on that battle as it continues at the moment as we approach the majority of people's pit stops. 140.445 for Liam. He's only a few tenths slower than his last few laps, which I think he will take in a heartbeat. He's finding time as the race continues. Someone's gone on the grass. That's Wade. Wade has gone on the grass, and Court was like, thank you very much. That's my position gained. So there we go. Court is up into 6th position. He goes down the hill. Wade follows him in a despair as he watches on and hopes that Court could make a mistake, but Court is driving ever so well. He almost made a mistake there, and that would have been a very nasty commentator's curse from myself, from yours truly, which I think people would absolutely hate. So that's why I'm going to shut up and leave myself alone for the time being. What is the situation then for Corey in terms of pit stops then? He seems to me sliding quite a bit, especially into the chicane, or it might just be the server getting a little bit of a lag, but there we go. I don't know what happened to Alistair, but Alistair's dropped down a few places. Casper's up into second now, and he'll be annoyed that I missed his battle for the lead for P2, so, but he's got P2 anyway. Oh, I feel so annoyed for missing that. Sorry, Casper. Sorry. But anyway, we're on lap 8 now of 14. Still a lot to be decided. Waze understandably goes into the pit. Will anyone follow suit? Doesn't look like it at the moment, but we will keep an eye on it as it continues. We'll let Lemons think about it. Jake, I know, will stay out because Jake is Jake. Lewis, I think will stay out as well. Maybe he's got to pit. But he's closing in on Jake. So to be fair, Lewis has good pace. Lewis has good pace even on warm mediums. So I think he's going to brave it out. But it's going to be an absolute nightmare in the end. As Waze trying to do a double overtake on Jake and Lewis. And that was very, very impressive. But Lewis Craig trying to fight back on Jake. Lewis Craig does get past Jake. Casper did go in and lose a few places right now, as we were seeing that as they were coming out of the pit lane, Waze and all that. So we got Jovial from Luca, from Alistair, from Aiden, and from Casper, your top 5. Court now catching up to this. He could potentially still get onto the podium, which will be very, very impressive for the Mercedes driver, as they're all trying to make sure that they avoid the barrier, because the barrier for them would be an absolute nightmare. So we're approaching, we passed the halfway point of this race. Does this mean pit stops? Or will people potentially be aiming for a 0 stop? Casper's had a little bit of a moment again, so yeah, it must be that final corner in the last lap as well, where he lost it. So if I were Casper, maybe think about pitting the next lap for extra tyres. If you're going to keep spinning about like that, I don't know. You can see his tyre wear. I think most people's tyre wear. Stabler's tyre wear is doing quite well. But there's one half of the car where he's using a bit more tyre wear than the others. So, lap 9 at 14. Obviously, we lost Dan, annoyingly, because of his disconnection, but we will see if he can join us for the next round at Francorchamps. Imagine if people would live here in Croatia. That would be very, very cool. To be fair, I would personally do quite a few more walks there. That would be quite cool. So the gap, by the way, that Jovial's got to everybody else, the lead gap is 12.6 seconds, which is insane. Absolutely insane. And Jovial's come in. Jovial has come in to the pit lane, and he is going to be changing his tyre. So what's it going to be for Jovial? We'll find out. He's going to go on to mediums. I think if he went on softs, he wouldn't have made it. And he's still going to come out in the lead. So he had the luxury of going on fresh tyres, picking up rubber, and taking the lead anyway. That was a gap that was very important. Everyone's coming in, but with a mixture of strategies here. We've got Luca on softs. Casper, get past Luca, but Casper still yet to stop. Sabler's still yet to stop. Alistair stopped on softs. So is Aiden. Court is on softs as well. Wet Lemons is stayed out on mediums. As we got Waze and Jake having a little bit of a scrap, a bit of a ding-dong. Obviously Jake on hards, Waze on fresh mediums. So honestly, it was expected that Waze would get past. So this is going to be a very tasty end to this race. So you better watch out. Mistakes could crop up here. And this is where we can see the fresh tyre runners come into play. Luca and Alistair have got to get past Casper ASAP, because otherwise their tyres are not going to be very happy. And what Casper needs to do is try and defend for their life. And try and do all he can to keep third place. Potentially second, but you never know. So we've got a queue of cars forming. Wet Lemons, of course, was one of the drivers that stayed out. And he's got Evil Dragon on his tail. Wade's pulled up the gap a little bit to Jake, but Jake's got Dom Smith for company now. So we got a lot of mini battles here in DBGT, which is honestly something very, very exciting. Of course, Dom Smith, one of my favourite liveries of the season, because he's got a little bit of a Simpson theme. Wet Lemons finally comes in to the box, and we'll see what tyres he goes on to in just a moment. He goes on to mediums, but maybe he should have gone on softs, but maybe he wants, ideally, the durability of the car. He wants to make sure that he can get tyres which are comfortably going to the end of the race. Oh, look at this. Luca with the fresher rubber wants to take advantage here. Right on the gearbox of Casper. This is make or break time. Casper goes to the left. Casper looks that way. Let's see who's going to take advantage. Luca gets P3. Casper drops down to fourth. Alistair wanted to try and do exactly the same thing, but we have a helicopter in the way, and we got caught in this as well. Aiden, I have no clue where he is, but he drops a little bit back. He's around about 3.4 seconds behind. So for the battle for P3, we got Luca versus Casper versus Alistair versus Court. This is going to be exciting, and for Court, he needs to get past, because this could be crucial for his championship, as he tries to get past as many cars as possible. Court, attempt one, past Alistair. He's got to get past Casper now, and that's helping Luca try and increase that gap. Alistair, right in the middle of this as well. This could get hairy. You can't go 3 wide into turn 1, especially with how difficult it is, but people are going to try it anyway. Casper, fending off from Alistair. Alistair goes to the outside. Alistair makes a move, I think. Yes, he does. So Alistair gets past Casper, up into 5th. Caught up to 4th. A little bit of a swerve there. We'll see how long those hard tyres last. No, soft tyres last, sorry. Of course, Court's setting personal best right now. Kind of wish he didn't make that mistake earlier on, didn't he? Right, what else is looking feisty? I think everyone else in the back is running their own races at the moment. Wet Lemons, though, and Lewis Craig battle could get tasty towards the end. So keep an eye on that as well. By the way, for those of you that just joined us, we got the 5th and 6th round of DBGT. Make sure you leave this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell if you're new, so this stream can get recommended to lots of lovely people and they can subscribe to the channel. We're almost on 70 subscribers, so if you haven't already, please, please, please subscribe. That'll be absolutely amazing. I would honestly love you forever. As Luca has got caught breathing down his neck now. This is not what Luca wants. Caught then in towards T1. Caught with the faster pace advantage. He's got to do this in order to make the comeback of the century. He hits the curb a little bit, which is allowing Luca to keep the position for just a little bit longer. Alistair is going to hope for the 2 drivers in front to make mistakes so he could be the one that gets second. Could he push those 2 drivers into a mistake around Dragon Trail Seaside? Only one way to find out, so we will have one and a half laps to go. So go for your order in the moment. We've got Jovial from Luca from Alistair. Oh, where is he? Stupid keyboard. Alistair from Aiden Griffins from Stapler in Sip Evil. Casper's jaw. Casper's lost it. Casper's tires are almost dead. He tried to stay on for as long as possible, but unfortunately, the gamble did not pay off. Dom stayed in 8th, but Evil Dragons found a bit more pace. As we're about to start the final lap of this race, with Jovial leading. It was a shame for Casper to have lost it. He's still going to get 7th, but a lot of drivers are going to gain around him, which is not what he needs right now. Lucas got one more chance to get past Court, because Court's up to 2nd now. Luca in his first race back in a while in GT would want to get a podium on his return. He would gloat about it for days, but that's Luca in a nutshell, and we love Luca for that. And Luca's probably thinking I'm going to be talking crazy, but who cares? We're on the final lap. For some drivers, of course, they like this track. They like fictional tracks. And for some drivers, it's been a day in hell. And for some drivers, it's been a little bit in between. You can see the gap between the leaders coming through the bottom half of the map right now. This is the battle we want to watch out for. But we will keep an eye, of course, on the leader who's heading towards the Seaside section now. But here comes Luca around the outside of Core, which becomes the inside line shortly. Through he goes into the lovely view section. Really narrow barriers into the tight chicane. The chicane of death. I might have called the wrong chicane the chicane of death, but who cares? As that was very close to the wall court. That wouldn't have been great. As we can see, Alistair has gained advantage on court. Jovial comes across the line and wins here at Dragon Trail Seaside. But who is going to get 2nd? Well, it's not going to be Court. He lost it. It is going to be Luca on his return to get P2. Alistair gets P3. Court P4. Aiden Griffins will come across the line in P5, which I think he'll be very delighted with that. So, same as Stapler, actually. A very great result from the American as he comes across the line right now. Mostly in the 140s, but when he pitted, he was in the 142s. But actually, no, I don't think he pitted at all. So as the tyres started to die, he started to make a bit more mistakes. Casper in 7th. A bit close between Dom Smith and Wet Lemons. As Jake, Lewis and Waze. Jake just about gets them. Evil Dragon, I don't know what happened to Evil Dragon, but whilst we were watching the battle for P2, I think Liam must have lost it somewhere. So that is a shame for Evil Dragon. And then we're just waiting for Jack Craig to come across the line to finish the race. And that is it then for the first round of the night, round 5 of the championship. So, of course, Jovial starting on pole. And for him, he drove a very clean race, which I have to say is very, very incredible. So well done to all involved. It's going to be interesting to see how everybody does in Spa-Francorchamps. Of course, a staple in the Formula 1 calendar. But what are we going to see for the GT cars? How will the GT cars handle it? Of course, only one way to find out. We are going to switch tracks very, very soon. And we're going to take a little bit of a break whilst the drivers have their 5-minute practice and for me to get a drink and to rest my voice. So I'll see you in about 5-10 minutes for qualifying of round 6 in Spa-Francorchamps. I hope you enjoyed the stream so far. We'll see you in about 5-10 minutes. Bye-bye. welcome back to DBGT. This is now round number 6. I will see if I could try and find the standings for you right now, but we are very excited to bring you some action at Francorchamps, which is an iconic track that is used by quite a lot of motorsport series, and honestly it's just so much fun to drive. It is a 7.004 kilometer circuit, 4.352 miles. It's situated in Stabilo, around 8 kilometers southeast of Spa, and Spa hosted a lot of international events which include the F1 as well as the 24 hours of Spa and the World Endurance Championship 6 hours of Spa. And it's also hosted the Uni Royal Fun Cup, 25 hours of Spa. 25 hours, I don't think I would cope with that. The original layout used to be 14.982 kilometers long, but obviously it was shut down, cut down to, of course, what it is now due to safety reasons. So if I can find it, why is it deciding to go to an advert? I do not want to go to an advert. I'm just going to check to see if it's updated. Yes, Dragon Trail has updated. So your results of the standing so far, I didn't have time to get an image, so I'll just say what it is at the moment. So Jovial is currently leading by 11 points. Actually, no, it's more than that. So Jovial has 77 points. Court has 63 points in second. Casper in third on 42. Evil Dragon in 4th place in the standings on 34. Stapler in 5th spot on 26 points. He has gained quite a few places in the championship, actually. He's gained 2 places, so well done to him. Sean, also known as Wet Lemons, in 6th on 26, so he's joint tied on 5th. 7th is Waze, he's down 2 places on 23 points. Dom Smith in 8th on 20. Jake in 9th on 19. Then we've got Aiden in 10th on 18. Hannah's 11th on 16. Then we've got Lewis Craig on 16. Don't break, Bern. I'll need it to go to work tomorrow. Because I'm in the office tomorrow. Luca on 12. Jack Craig on 12. Alistair on 10. Dan on 4. And Darky on 2. Darky, of course, I think raced a few races where he got a few points, but there we go. We'll try and find someone who's just about to start a lap. I was quite surprised, actually, in the first race that we didn't have many penalties, because we saw how difficult those chicanes really were. So I was quite surprised about that. Oh, and they did post the image in the chat, and I didn't even see it. I could have posted it. Never mind. I could have put it on stream, but yeah, that's my fault for not looking at the standings in the chat. So we've got a few people about to complete their laps then. So who's going to be first? I believe Joe will be the first to cross the line. What's going to be for him as he finishes his lap? It's going to be a 2:18.553. Evil Dragon is up next. He goes up to the line. 6 tenths slower. Luca goes up to the line in 2nd place. Court goes up to 3rd. Alistair and Dom are quite close together as well, but we'll see what everyone else does. Aiden goes up to 5th. Alistair goes through Blanchimont. Now Stapler improves to 2:21. It will be mixed ability cars as I am trying to rest my feet a little bit. I don't want to break quite a few things because I almost broke my Elgato capture car, which wouldn't have been good because I wouldn't have been able to stream. Alistair goes up into 11th, as I think I just saw Dom Smith. Yeah, it was Dom Smith. So Dom Smith has improved, but then Jack Craig comes and improves as well. So there's lots of movers and shakers. I don't think Dan Price would be joining the lobby again, which is a shame. So it's just these drivers will be competing for the second race of the evening. And of course, these drivers have 4 more minutes to complete their lap times. And it's a long lap, so they only have a few laps just to really nail it, really get into grips about how these GT cars just feel so different to the F1 cars in general. So we can watch Evil Dragon making his way through Paul Frere. The gravel trap can come back and bite you, so be careful that it doesn't come to bite you. So you've got to basically keep it on the track. As I try and move my chair, there we go. I'm a little bit more comfortable, but of course I'm worried I might sleep in it, which hopefully does not happen, which shouldn't happen. Evil Dragon goes up to the last few corners of the bus stop chicane. Quite a few elevation changes. What's it going to be for Evil Dragon? Goes up to the line. Does not improve. 4 attempts down. Of course, it's hard on this game, hard to tell whether drivers are on in-laps or not. Aiden just setting the new record to 19.1, so he improves to 5th place. What can Waze do? Can he improve? Looks good. 2:18.5. Puts it up into P2. Waze! Waze! Now that is impressive. That is impressive from Waze. We'll see if anyone else improves. We've got Casper, who's currently sitting 4th for the moment. He's got some time to find as well. Can he get himself into the top 3? Answer to that is no. But he was not far off than beating his PB, so impressive. So we're going to try and see Stabler in the middle of his lap. Quite close between him and Alistair. The gap is quite close around this track, but I think because of quite a lot of people know this track in general, that's probably what you would expect. So Jovial looking like he's the qualifying master, and you do get points for pole position. So these points count, and he's setting a purple middle sector. He is looking rapid. He is on fire. He's looking like he wants to try and get maximum points today as he heads past Blanchimont now, going up the hill. It's very important that you don't mess it up here, and Jovial is going to take the last few corners like his life depends on it. Through he goes in towards the bus stop chicane. What can Jovial do as he exits the last corner? It's going to be a time for the record books. Yes, it is! 2 tenths quicker. Well, 2.5 tenths quicker, actually. So that will put him 5 tenths quicker than Waze. What a lap from Jovial. Could anyone beat that? We'll have to wait and see. Luca slots himself into P2. So he's brought the gap down by a 10th. Court's still down in 4th. We've only got about 20 seconds left of this qualifying session. And Casper's going to get a bit of a tow from Dom Smith as well. Will this hurt him or will this help him? 10 seconds. So this is going to be his final lap then. As Alistair sets 2:18.7. Casper, Casper cuts the corner. That's it. That's it for Casper. Court's on his final lap. So, of course, Casper's not going to improve. Evil just about crossed the line in time. Wade's not going to improve because he's got a 5/10 penalty. So it's Wet Lemons, actually. So if I were there, maybe just go into the pit lane because that would help a little bit. Jovial's got some time to find, actually. He has got some time to find. He He's not settling for 2:18.0. He wants to get into the 2-minute 17s. Luca's not going to be able to improve. I think for most people, that is it. As Wet Lemons hits the wall. Oh, that's not good for Wet Lemons. That is not good for Wet Lemons at all. Jake's on his final lap as well, but I think he's slowing down, maybe. Oh, it's hard to tell these days, actually. So we are about to get ready for some races here at Francorchamps. Who is ready? Who is your pick a winner? At the moment, it's looking like it's Jovial. And you can see his lap times on the right-hand side. He has been very, very consistent. Very consistent. So you can see the lap times on the right-hand side. Quite close again. Quite close again. It would have helped if I've got the right image. Yes, it would, Jess. Yes, it would. Because if I got the right image, people would have been very disappointed in me. So, 10 laps. Oh my God, this mic is driving me crazy. Anyway. Sorry about that. You can hear a bit of a mic whistle in the background. Anyway, 10 laps await our drivers here this evening. Some people like this track, like I was saying. They prefer it to the fictional track. Some people are in the middle. It's not a Marmite situation. It'll be interesting to see what people think in the chat, in the drivers' chat, on what they thought of the qualifying lap. Because we see no responses currently. Way's saying he's hoping that he can hack it for the races, as in do well in the races. And we're going to be starting in 1 minute. So 1 minute, and we're going to get going for the races, which will allow, of course, the drivers to have, oh my goodness, a bit of a break for race 2. Of course, it looks sunny out there, but there'll be quite a few people that would have been hoping for a little bit of rain in the horizon. But of course, different types of conditions. It feels like more like afternoon for me currently in Spa, as in like in the game. It's evening here in the UK. And Wade's actually almost got a front row start. To be honest, the lap I was the most impressed with was Wade's, because he honestly, he was not expected to be up there with his lap time, and he probably was not expecting it either. So Wade was probably the most impressive, but can he hold that position for the main race? It's going to be hard for him. But never say never. We have seen some surprises right now, as I thought my game froze for just a second, but it's just people starting at the bus stop chicane, which I find quite weird. But anyway, we're about to get started then for race 2 of the night, but at Francorchamps. Here we go then for race 2, and it is lights out, and away we go. Jovial gets a start of dreams. They all make their way towards the source for the first time. And it seems to me that the top 3 all got their way absolutely fine. And we've got Alistair. Oh, Casper's car is a little bit unsettled there. Will that allow Aiden to try and go for the move in towards Eau Rouge? There's going to be a lot of moves trying to go through Radion. But Aiden is going to try and take advantage of Casper's mistake here. We could see a lot of slipstream, but we got out of the lead already. Luca versus Jovial. We're looking to have another winner here. Can Luca be the one that changes that? Waze is being attacked by Court. Waze cannot defend that. Court is up into third place. A bit of a lap tap between Jovial and Casper. Could that have the car unsettled? We don't know. As we could see, Luca trying to go down the right-hand side, and Luca takes the lead. Luca takes the lead of this race. So, what very well executed from Luca, but we'll see what everybody else could do. Casper losing a bit of ground, but Stapler doing quite well. Wet Lemons has Jack Craig in his rear-view mirror, chasing him down. Maybe for his sake, he would rather that I call him Sean rather than Wet Lemons, because if I call him Sean, that usually gives him good luck. But I wouldn't want him to see weird names for Alistair and Luca, which is why I reverted to online IDs. So hopefully you're okay with that. Please. Please help me. So already there's big gaps towards most people, but we got Luca, Court and Jovial fighting for the same piece of tarmac as we're about to start. Lap number 2 of 10 on a very hot Tuesday night here in the UK. I'm definitely, of course, going to have a fan after this, because honestly, that would be absolute hell otherwise. So we'll see what Luca can do. I think Luca's going to try and defend for his life, but I think Jovial has got to be a bit more worried about Court that's behind instead of Luca that's in front. So he's got to defend. Which way is Court going to go? We'll find out. He goes left. Is Court going to get P3? I mean P2. It's going to be tight as it towards the com. Court does it. Court is up into second. Way stays in fourth. But what about Alistair? Can he catch up? Evil Dragon and Aiden have been fighting for P6. Going towards Brussels now and into the corner of No Name. But some people like to call it the X corner. But to be honest, I still like to call it No Name. And if people don't like me calling it No Name, then tough. Because I do. It is just my way of working. So there we go. Here comes Aiden, actually, as he attacks Evil Dragon. Casper's on the back of this as well. And I think Stapler has joined in the fight as well. So tyre-wise, Luca's on softs, which explains his pace earlier on. But is those softs going to last for a long period of time? Court in second is on softs as well. Jovial's on mediums. So he's probably just going to be sitting back. Hopefully, he's going to hope to the top 2, wear out their tyres a bit more, lose a bit of performance, and Jovial could be like, thank you very much, I could take the lead with the durable tyres. And could he get those tyres to the very end of the race? We will find out. But this is what I like about these races sometimes, about the varyingness of strategy. And you probably noticed that I made up a word, but who cares? As Court set in the fastest lap of this race. Waze is on hards, so he's playing the long game, which could prove really well. As does on hards as well. Aiden Griffins is on mediums. Evil Dragon is on mediums, as Stapler and Casper late on the brakes towards the source. Casper wants to retain that position. He doesn't want to lose that reposition. Oh, it's going to be 3-1 into El Rouge. Someone back out. Someone back out, please. We don't want contact. We don't want someone going into a wall. Someone almost did, but they just about saved that. Oh, my goodness me. You almost gave me a heart attack as Stapler. unfortunately does get a penalty for leaving the track and getting in the barge. Evil Dragon to the left-hand side and towards their com. Both of these drivers quite close in the championship, but they got to leave each other space. They got to leave each other space. Oh, as Evil Dragon has kicked a bit of dust into the circuit, and he's got a 5-10 penalty for it. Personally, I thought that was a bit harsh, but there we go. There we go. So varying strategies. I didn't see who the strategies from 9th downwards, but Wade is on softs. No, Lewis Craig is on softs. Jack Craig's on softs. Wet Lemon's on medium. Shake's on mediums. I thought he would have gone on hards, personally, like he did in the last race, but he wanted to probably change it a little bit. And Dom Smith is on medium. So all 3 tyres are being used this evening. As Court takes the lead on softs. Luca is struggling on those softs, so maybe he would have to pit early from the undercut. So maybe going on the softs for Luca was not the best idea. This could be Jovial's race to win after all. And sometimes in these GT races, you've got to be very bold in terms of the strategy. As Luca's lost a bit of grip there coming through the final corner. As, yeah, he's lost quite a bit of time through there. As the timings are deciding to have a little bit of a paddy at the moment, but there we go. Well, he's doing very well keeping up with these folk. Oh! Alistair's had a bit of a moment. Alistair's dropped down to 6th. That's going to allow Casper to catch up to him as well. Here he goes. Casper's probably loving this, but Casper's got that penalty. So Casper is probably looking up to the gods now and absolutely smiling that knowing that someone's made a mistake here. And Casper just set a personal best, so he's subbing live. So I think the ideal scenario for these drivers is to do half and half. Medium, medium, 5 laps each. That I think would work out well in terms of strategy. But I don't play GT7 much, and I'm not a good strategist when it comes to GT7. So people will probably think, Jess, you should not do that. It will not work in people's favour. But I'm going to be brave. I'm just going to say, yeah. I'm going to say, yeah, that strategy's going to work out, I think. And through goes Casper. In towards Stabilo 1. Trying to get my corners not mixed up. And I think Casper's going to get this. But you're going to have to slow down. Which will allow Evil Dragon to have its moment, because I don't think Evil Dragon has got a penalty. No, he doesn't. Casper slows down. He only needs to slow down by 5 tenths, which he does. But that's brought Evil Dragon closer and closer. Lewis Cray doing well in 10th. He is chasing down Stapler, the American, but 9th spot. There are lots of points that could be up for grabs here. So make sure you do watch your space as we're about to start lap 5 of 10. Court goes towards turn number 1, but struggling a little bit for grip. Luca in 2nd. Jovial. I think Jovial is not having any luck at the moment to try and get past Luca. What's the gap now between Wade and Jovial? That's about 4.9 seconds. But he's about 1.6 seconds ahead of Aiden. So he's showing... I'm looking at Wade's lap times. Wade's lap times is very, very consistent. Very consistent. So well done to Wade here. Wade has been doing a great job as he's consistent again. He's only 7 100ths of his previous best. So he's managing his tyres well. Or maybe the hards could work. Maybe the 0 stop. We don't know. This is the beauty of open strategy. This is the beauty of no pit stops. Some people can brave it and stay out. Some people may not. I'm actually going to check how many subs we're on now. By the way, Dom Smith is having a really great battle, by the way, with Jake. And I love this. Yes, people might complain that I watch the front all the time. But I always like to watch a variety of drivers. They get quite a bit of airtime because of it, which makes me happy. And we got a yellow flag. Someone's gone off. I don't know who that is, but that might have been something that's went on in the background, I think. Yeah, I think it was something that went on in the background, I think. So very, very unfortunate. Or it might have just been people slowing down at pit stops. Court, by the way, comes in to the pit lane for his first stop. And of course he's on softs. His softs is almost dying. Luca, I think, came in a lap ago. I believe. Where is he? Oh! Oh, no! And as soon as I went on board with Luca, he's gone on for a spin. And Luca did not pit. His sauce was dying, which is why he dropped quite a few places. It's hard to keep track of everybody. But I'm annoyed that I lost track of him at the wrong moment. So, yeah, sauce weren't the way to go. Because Luca lost a bit of pace throughout. Which I'm absolutely gutted about that. Absolutely gutted. But hey ho, 4 laps to go after this one. Still plenty of chances for people to make their mark. After this, we'll have 2 more rounds of this championship next week. Of course, we go to Watkins Glen. Oh my goodness, Watkins Glen is amazing. I was working an event on Saturday, and one of the commentators there is either went to Watkins Glen or is working at Watkins Glen soon, and she said she loves it. So honestly, it's a universal thing. The way that Watkins Glen is designed is so cool. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that next week. Could we see the championship decided at Watkins Glen? We'll have to wait and see. Could we see Jovial stretch out that gap that he needs? We will have to wait and find out. Court, by the way, set the fastest lap of this race on fresh softs. So he's gone for the opposite then. He's gone for softs now. Now, after seeing what Luca did, of course, Court went on softs, I think, for his first stint, and he thought, yeah, it would work. Personally, I don't think so, but if Court, I think, to be fair, Court made it work quite nicely. Oh, Evil! Evil had a bit of a spin. Be careful with an unsafe rejoin, my friend. I'm trying to find the right camera. He's lost it a little bit there. Oh, no. That is very, very annoying. If I would have get my replay cameras, I would have tried to have caught that. But Evil Dragon. That must be annoying. Oh, that's him out the race. Oh, no. I hope he's okay. I hope something's not... Well, it might be his controller, actually. So, I don't know. But I will find out at the end of this. But we're now down to 30 drivers now. So, of course, Dan disconnected from the first one and he couldn't go to the second one. Obviously, of course, with Evil... with Dan. It might be a power cut. You never know. Because he has not appeared in the chats. But, yes, we've got 4 more laps to go now. Quite a few battles to entertain ourselves. Court is looking to try and climb up as much as she can. To be fair, Waze could stretch those tyres to the end, I think. He can be brave and do that. But he's got a chasing Alistair right behind him. And Alistair is not going to give up that easily. Yeah, I think he is in a chat and he's absolutely gutted. And he just said, L pain. I'm in a chat with him and I'm just going to put a sad face. Honestly. And I think he could, of course, maybe tell me on, like, a Discord, like, text chat, like, what happened properly. But anyway, we're about to approach lap 8. Still a bit of rubble on the track, which might help drivers, might not. We will see. As we're going to start, is Waze thinking about pitting? No, he stays out as we start lap 8. To be fair, this race has gone so quickly so far, which is very impressive. Again, with a variety of different strategies. Staplers go in to the pits right now. And so Ewa had a sprained hand and one of the Astons put him off. Oh no. At the fastest turn possible. That's why people have got to be, I think, aware of these situations as well. I know my friend is recovering from like a wrist injury because she runs a direct drive wheel. And if you get involved in a crash with high full speed back and direct drive, yeah, it just, honestly, it won't work. Won't work at all. Honestly, with the first few weeks I had a direct drive wheel, honestly, there was pain and stuff that, like, I was gaining muscle on and pain on stuff I didn't know existed. It was insane. But now I'm obviously used to my new rig, it's fine. So, Jovial leads from Wade in at second spot. I think my driver of the day so far, he's stretching that gap. And because Aiden and Alistair are biting, it's allowing Wade to be like, you know what? Try and close in. Here we go, side by side. One of the most trickiest turns. And when Alistair lagging on the spectator cameras, it makes it, honestly, very hard to see the action. But I think, of course, Alistair wants to try and defend for his life here. Oh no, Luca's left the session. What's happened to Luca? We're down to 12 drivers. So, Luca and Evil not having the best of races. But look at this. Dom Smith, Wet Lemons, Jack Craig. They're having a fight for their life right now. Wet Lemons and Jack Craig has got a penalty, which has allowed Dom Smith to honestly have a little bit of a bum battle now. Come on, guys, slow down. You don't want to get an even harsher penalty. There we go, they slow down. As Dom Smith stretches the gap. What can happen then between Dom Smith and Wet Lemons? And obviously Jack Craig. Oh, did we see a pitter? Yes, Aiden's pitted. So he felt like his hards, no, his mediums couldn't make it. And of course, he had to go on the softs. Pitting with 2 laps to go. Very risky strategy indeed. But it puts him in 6th. He'll probably take it in a heartbeat. Could score him some great points. Jake is staying out bravely on those medium tyres. Stapler though on fresh softs is looking to, of course, change all that. But we're not long to go until the end of this race. It's going to be himself being put in a very tricky situation. Oh my goodness, this is going to be quite hard. And I think, of course, Stapler had the advantage now on Jake. So Stapler is up into 7th now. Lewis. What is Lewis doing? Lewis and Wet Lemons. Jack. So Lewis having a comfortable gap in 9th. I think it's Lewis's best result so far. But Jack's got a penalty. That's probably pleased Wet Lemons. Oh my goodness. The two league owners fighting for the same piece of tarmac once again. This is going to be interesting as we approach the final lap of this race. We're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen within the final few moments of this race. Final lap then for Jovial and for Waze. Waze has stayed out, so has Alistair, which I think's worked. Core, softs are almost dying. Casper's mediums are almost dying, but Casper is having a lot better race than what we saw in Dragon Trail, and he's managing his tyres a lot better. So for Casper, he will take it as well. Aiden just pitted. Can he find 10-second in one lap? I don't think so. He would have probably kicked himself. He should have pitted a few laps ago. Stapler in 7th at the moment. Jake's under pressure from Lewis Craig as we head towards T1. Did Lewis Craig lose a bit of his braking zone? No, he's all good. He is all good. Typical that a lot of battles are happening towards the end of this race now. Interesting. Here we go. Lewis Craig in the Williams. Williams Martini. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to call that, but who cares? A lot of people that watch the stream is over 18 anyway. But Lewis Craig goes side by side with Jake. What's he gonna do? And I was gonna say something else, but I didn't want to say anything. I was gonna say a nice pun from a Sailor song. But anyway, Lewis Craig up to 8th. And Jake down to 9th. Wet Lemon stretching the gap. But Jack Craig and Dom Smith's battle is still going strong. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And of course, Jack with a lovely livery. But basically, this is the fight for the wooden spoon on chat because we've had we've had 2 retirements currently. But there's one driver who has been faultless all weekend, well, all night long. He's got pole in both races, I believe. No, he won both races, got pole in one. He didn't think he would win this one with a strategy, but it turned out to be the best strategy of all. Jovial wins again, and surely he would have one hand on the trophy, and he is the favourite to win from next week. Waze with his best result of the season. I have to say, fantastic performance from him. Well done. He said he wanted to make some ground in the race, which he did, and his strategy worked with him being on the hards. Alistair being on the hards paid off him as well. He's in 3rd. Caught in 4th position on softs when he pitted at the end. Casper manages ties to the bitter end, and it helped him so much. Not quite the podium, but 5th I think is all he can muster, and he will take that. Aiden in 6th, Stapler 7th. Lewis just about gets Jake in 8th with Jake in 9th. Wet Lemons goes up to the line. He's got a penalty, but I don't think that's going to make much difference because, of course, the acceleration zone is gone. So Wet Lemons in at 10th. We've got Jack. Oh, Jack's had a bit of a moment. Could Dom Smith get 11th? No. So Jack gets 11th. Dom Smith gets 12th. So there we go then. That is your results. So yeah, Jovial did get, excuse me, Jovial did get pole again. Interesting. Me not paying attention probably worked it. So, with Jovial having one hand on the trophy, Court needs to have a race of his life with Jovial not in order for him to take the fight to the final round. But I think Jovial could win the title in Watkins Glen next week. Can he do it? we're going to have to wait and see. I've been Jess Ball. We'll have a quick reminder of your calendar for the final 2 rounds next week. We've got Watkins Glen and Trial Mountain as the final 2 races, both in America. So we're in for an American theme here. So thank you all for watching. I've been Jess Ball. See you next week. Have a good evening, everyone. But until then, take care and goodbye.